What's up, my movie crew? It's your favorite review titan back with another absolute banger. Get ready because today we're diving into a high stakes revenge romance that is serving all the drama. So the scene opens in this bougie cafe, and the gossip is already piping hot. All eyes are on our male lead, Thanelith, the untouchable CEO of Shengtai Group. The word on the street is he's here for a blind date. Everyone's wondering which lucky lady is about to bag this perfect, ridiculously handsome guy. And then our girl Dine walks up, all polite and ready for business. But Thaneth barely gives her the time of day. His response is ice cold. She thinks he's a Mr. Lin, her actual blind date, and even slides her resume across the table like a job interview. He immediately shuts her down, telling her she's got the wrong guy. But our girl Didi is not deterred. She just plows ahead with her script. She's like, I know you're only here because of family pressure, but get this, I have the perfect solution for you. And then she drops the most unhinged marriage proposal ever. My health is bad. The doctors say I won't live past 30, so if you marry me when you don't need me anymore, I can just die early. The audacity, the main character energy, I'm living for it. Just then, the waitress interrupts, pointing out that she's at the wrong table and her actual date is over there. The second-hand embarrassment is real, but she recovers like a pro, blaming it on her medication making her brain foggy. She quickly apologizes and makes her exit. And now we get the backstory. A flashback shows her cruel relatives throwing a measly amount of money at her. They're forcing her to take her cousin Tin Taiti's place and marry some paralyzed old boss. It's giving major evil family vibes. Her inner monologue is pure fire. They killed her parents, stole her inheritance, and now they want her to be a stepping stone. In your dreams, she says. A news report montage hits, hyping up Thaneth as the absolute king of the business world. A commercial genius who just returned to the country, and it all clicks into place. Her plan wasn't a mistake at all. She declares that if she has to marry, it will be to the most powerful man in the city. Back in the present, after her staged apology, the waitress reveals Didineti's tragic story to now entreat Thaneth. Apparently she's been coming here on blind dates for a month straight, trying to escape her uncle who wants to marry her off to a disabled man for business. We see her going to her actual date, repeating her intro, but something has clearly shifted in Thaneth's mind. And just like that, he gets up, grabs her arm and says, let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. Mic drop. The plan actually worked. Fresh out of City Hall, he immediately lays down the rules of their contract marriage. You play nice for my parents, don't follow me, and don't publicize our relationship. Oh, and absolutely no interfering in my private affairs. She just meekly agrees to everything, playing the part of the perfect, docile wife. He tells her he has a meeting with friends and the butler will take her home. She's just like, okay, got it. He walks away, muttering to himself about how silly she is. He thinks he's found the perfect, harmless puppet. She even gives him this sweet little wave goodbye as he drives off. The performance is flawless. In the car, his assistant teases him, saying he seems quite satisfied with his new wife. But Thaneth is quick to deny it. He says she's just silly and looks like she'd be easy to bully. Oh, you sweet summer child, you have no idea. Meanwhile, Didineti is meeting up with the waitress from the cafe. She pays her for her part in the scheme. This is all a calculated move. Alone, her entire demeanor changes. The sweet, fragile girl is gone. She talks to her deceased parents, promising she won't accept her fate. She declares that from now on, her uncle's family should prepare themselves for her counterattack. The revenge plot has officially begun. She calls her bestie Lemonhead, who is freaking out that she actually married the notorious Thaneth. Lemonhead is spilling all the tea on his reputation. He's known for being short-tempered and ruthless, and anyone who crosses him meets a bad end. Apparently his reputation is so bad that no one even dared to marry the person his father chose for him, fearing they'd end up dead in a ditch. But Didineti is playing 4D chess. She says the most dangerous place is the safest. The Sheng family is at the top of the food chain, and as the head of the family, Thaneth holds all the power. She needs to stand on his shoulders to make her uncle's family pay for what they did. Lemonhead brings up the poison in her system, warning that she's running out of time. But Didineti's resolve is absolute. She says even if she dies, she will drag the people who killed her parents down to hell with her. The stakes could not be higher. Later, the butler, Thaneth, picks her up. Meanwhile, Thaneth's friends, Empthiu and Fienthe, are already grilling him about his sudden marriage. They were curious about what makes this girl so special that she caught his eye. He flashes back to her wild marriage proposal. He remembers her saying she won't live past 30 and can die early if he needs her to. That was her unique selling point. So what's her special quality? She is sickly and can die early. His friends are probably shook right now. Thaneth brings her to the lavish mansion, introducing it as her new home. The staff lines up to welcome their new madam. She immediately starts her intel gathering, asking the butler what things her new husband hates, wanting to learn more about him. Thaneth is impressed by her thoughtfulness. He reveals that the one thing he probably hates most is his stepmother, and speak of the devil, the stepmother Tina Masilan appears out of nowhere. The first test has arrived. Tina Masilan is all fake smiles, telling Didinati to just call her mother. But our girl came prepared. Didinati immediately brings up the rumors that Tina Masilan killed his birth mother, making him an orphan. She's drawing a line in the sand. She says that as his wife, she cannot call her mother. The stepmom is visibly annoyed, thinking this girl is harder to deal with than she expected. When asked how she knows him, Didi lies smoothly, saying he once saved her life. This earns her major points. She pledges her unwavering loyalty, saying she will stand by his side without reservation until the day she dies. It's a powerful, calculated declaration. The stepmom tries to plant seeds of doubt, using a proverb about smart birds choosing the right tree to perch on. But then the king himself arrives. The Nath walks in and asks his stepmom to explain exactly what she means by that. His timing is impeccable. He questions why she's even in his house, then publicly defends his wife, saying she is timid and Tina Masilan is scaring her. She tries to play it off as just a casual chat, but he's not having it. He just tells her to get out, cold, direct, and effective. Even as she's leaving, Tina Masilan tries to stir up trouble, telling Didinat she'll call her when he's not around. The nerve, after she's gone. Netha just says he is tired and heads upstairs, leaving Didinat to wonder if he believed his stepmom is scheming. But downstairs, the Netha C praises his choice in a wife. He notes that even though she was terrified, she still stood up for him. The Nath recalls her words about standing by him until her death. He admits she's timid but good, and easy on the eyes. The Ice King is melting. He tells the Netha C to go rest, then announces he's taking a shower. But Didinati is already on her way upstairs to see him. She nervously enters his room, calling his name, not realizing he is in the middle of his shower, and cue the classic drummer moment. She walks in just as he steps out of the bathroom shirtless. She's flustered, to say the least. She apologizes, but he is surprisingly chill about it. He just asks if she's getting used to the place. She says yes, everyone is very kind. She brought him some chicken soup as a peace offering. He asks if she made it, and she honestly admits the cook did. He tastes it and complains it's too bland. Then he tells her to make it tomorrow. She instantly agrees, promising to add more salt. His question catches her off guard. Were you this obedient at the Sun family's house? She gets nervous, thinking she did something wrong. A quick flashback shows his assistant's report. He knows her parents died, that she lived with her uncle, and was likely mistreated despite their wealth. He reassures her that she did nothing wrong. And now that she is part of the Sheng family, no one will dare bully her here. He's officially her protector. She is just staring at him, completely captivated. He playfully asks if she has seen enough. She gets all flustered again. He teases her for looking ugly with her face all scrunched up. But she uses this as a chance to drop some info. She tells him her cousin, who she calls sister, has been spreading nasty rumors about him, calling him short, ugly, and a grotesque freak. She even claimed all the missing person cases in the city are his doing. She is strategically feeding his ego and his anger. Then she lays it on thick, saying the man she sees is handsome and gentle like a drama hero. Perfect and so good to her. The flattery is working, and just as she planned, he is furious. He says he's the only one who gets to criticize others. No one dares to badmouth him. He learns that this cousin, Tina Ditaidi, also bullies her regularly. He decides it's time to teach her a lesson. He abruptly says he has to go out and tells her to rest. As she agrees, he's like her, this is my room. Back at the Sun residence, the family is trashing Didinati for not being home. Tina Ditaiti worries she's run off and wants to marry the old boss. She accuses her cousin of being promiscuous and stealing her boyfriend back in school. Worried that this reputation will ruin the deal. The next day, bam! The news hits that Tina Ditaiti's published thesis is being investigated for plagiarism, and her degree is being revoked. She's in a complete meltdown, screaming about who's plotting against her. Her mind immediately jumps to one person. It has to be that wench Dinah T. She thinks her cousin has been hiding away out of guilt. The irony is delicious, so she calls Dinah T and just unleashes a torrent of abuse, calling her a short, asking why she isn't dead yet. She blames her for the plagiarism accusation, since Dinah T was the one who gave her the paper. She threatens to kill her. Dinah T plays the innocent victim perfectly. She guarantees the paper wasn't plagiarized and suggests her cousin apply for review. Blaming a faulty machine, Tina Ditaiti decides to trust her this one time, but warns that if it is still considered plagiarism, she'll send Dinah T to meet her dead parents. But as soon as she hangs up, we hear that the Nath was listening to the entire abusive conversation on speakerphone. He's not happy. He asks if her family always talks to her like that. She just says she's used to her cousin's temper. He scoffs, saying he thought it was an animal roaring, not a person talking. Then he drops the bomb. It was him. He was the one who had the paper's content altered to frame her cousin for plagiarism. Without his permission, it will never be cleared. Then he forbids her from helping her cousin in any way. No editing papers, no clarifying the situation. Understood. He reminds her that she is his wife now, and nobody is allowed to order her around. And then he asks her to go shopping with him. The look on her face says it all. She's realizing the power she now wields through him. Her plan is working better than she could have imagined. She knows that falling from a talented genius to a disgraced plagiarist is just the beginning for her cousin. The game is on. Meanwhile, Tinanditaiti is still fuming, calling her cousin a useless waste of space. Her mom tries to calm her down and get her to eat, but she's too busy being a brat, saying she has plans to go to the mall with a socialite from the Gu family. And guess who else is headed to the mall? So we re at the mall, and the drama is about to be extra spicy. Didainiti asks what they were doing there. Rings. She's confused because it's a contract marriage, but he lays it out for her. It might be a contract, but they were legally married, so she'll get everything a wife deserves, and if anyone bullies her, he will protect her. The way she looks at him, you can see the feels are starting. As the sales assistant comes over, the villains of the hour, Tinanditaiti and Sidao, arrive at the scene. Still trash talking DDS's supposed plagiarism. Tinanditaiti spins a whole story about how Didaidi is just trying to get revenge on her for stealing her man. Sipsisthi. Just then, they spot her. Okay, plot twist alert. The Nutha points to a ring, and the clerk reveals it's the store's prized possession. Designed by the legendary international master, Eva. That's right, our girl Didainati's secret identity. He asks her if she likes it, and you can see the panic in her eyes. Just then, his phone rings. He tells her to go ahead and browse, handing her his black card to swipe if she finds something she likes. Sia moves. The moment he leaves, Tinanditaiti storms in. Main character showdown, let's go. She immediately starts accusing her of being with a wild man. Didainati tries to play it off, saying he was just asking for directions, but Tinanditaiti isn't buying it. She's laying it on thick to maintain her cover. She then reminds her that she's set to marry the disabled Mr. Wang, and warns her not to ruin the deal by messing around. The clerk tries to ask if she still wants to try the ring, and that's when they notice it. The Eva masterpiece. They can believe a short-lived ghost like Didainati would even have the chance to try it on, especially since Eva is a respected senior at their design school. Playing her part, Didainati meekly offers the ring to her cousin, but Tinanditaiti just scoffs. You give it to me. She asks if Didainati could even afford it, calling her a dead poor thing. Then she decides to buy it just to flex. The clerk says the ring is already reserved for Didainati, but Tinanditaiti bullies her, saying a poor girl living off her family cannot afford it. Her friend Si Dao backs her up, threatening the store's business if they offend the daughter of the Sun Corporation. The manager quickly steps in. He apologizes profusely, blames the new employee, and immediately agrees to sell Tinanditaiti the ring. She smugly tells him to wrap it up. She tells him to charge it to her boyfriend, CBC Thaner's card. The manager starts kissing up, saying only someone of her status deserves the ring. Feeling victorious, she turns to Didainati for one last verbal smackdown. She calls her a useless waste who's good for nothing. Then she crosses the line, bringing up her dead parents, saying she'd be dead just like them without the Sun family's charity. That's the trigger. She sees the fire in Didainati's eyes and raises her hand to slap her. But her hand is caught mid-air. It's the Neth. He delivers the coldest line yet. You dare touch my woman. Are you tired of living? After shoving her away, he turns to Didainati and asks if she was just going to let them bully her without fighting back. Tinanditaiti is shook, asking who he is, and he drops the bomb, I am her man. The entire store goes silent. She tries to use the arranged marriage against her, but then calls him a pretty boy, and actually tries to hit on him. The Nether just roasts her, calling her a toad trying to eat swan meat. She puffs up her chest, flexing her status as the Sun family daughter and CBT Thanes girlfriend. But then the manager returns with the ultimate no reverse card. He has spoken to CBC Than, who says Tinanditaiti has to pay for the ring herself. To make it worse, Si Dao, her supposed friend and his sister, shows up and calls her a stupid fool for thinking she can just use her brother's money. Humiliated, she decides to buy it herself, still taunting Didainati that the ring is hers now, just like her ex-boyfriend. She gloats that Didainati will always be a loser beneath her feet. But then, plot twist number 2. Insufficient funds. She tries another card, probably her own, and still insufficient funds. This is just brutal to watch. She calls her dad for a bailout, but the manager delivers the final blow. Headquarters just called. They will not sell her the ring. When she asks why, he stammers out the most savage reason. HQ says you are not worthy of such a fine item. She has a complete meltdown as the crowd starts to judge and whisper. Si Dao finally drags her out, calling her a disgrace. Humiliation complete. The Nathkuli walks back in and asks if she's done picking a ring. The timing is just perfect. She just stares at him, her eyes filled with a million questions, and asks, were you protecting me? Her walls are cracking. She decides against the Eva ring and picks another one. As they go to pay, the Nether puts the manager on blast. The moment the manager sees his black card, He recognizes him as the CEO. The Nether promptly fires him for disrespecting his wife, and promotes the kind saleslady. Didinati genuinely thanks him. He then says he'll hire bodyguards for her, because he won't allow a scene like today to ever happen again. She asks if he's worried about her. He tries to play it cool, saying he just doesn't want to bring shame to the Sheng name. Sewer. She promises to fight back harder next time. But as he drives her home, her inner monologue kicks in. She reminds herself it's not love, it's just the possessiveness of a top-tier capitalist. She tells herself her only goal is revenge. She's fighting her own feelings now. Later, her friend Ome shares the news. The review of Atinaitis paper came back, and it's still ruled as plagiarism. She's getting roasted online. As predicted, an enraged teenager calls her, screaming. Didinati calmly explains she was busy in the school's counseling room. Didinati accuses her of setting her up to be publicly humiliated a second time. Didinati just suggests they meet up to talk, and when Didinati arrives ready to throw hands, she's blocked by a bodyguard. It's one of the new bodyguards from Thenitha. Checkmate. She demands Didinati call him off. Didinati obliges, and Didinati gets right back to her tirade. And then she accidentally drops a huge bombshell. She says she should have just let her dad poison her. Didinati clocks this immediately. Didinati then presents her evidence, showing her the original manuscript versus the published one, suggesting someone tampered with it. She plants the idea that someone paid off the institution to frame her. Didinati in her arrogance buys it completely. She reasons that Didinati is too obedient and pathetic to pull off such a scheme, so it must be someone else. The manipulation is masterful. Didinati then proposes the solution. Forget clearing her name. Just win the upcoming International Design Star competition. If she wins first place, everyone will recognize her talent, and the plagiarism scandal will be forgotten. Didinati's ego is fully stroked. She gets excited, imagining the fame and fortune that will come with winning. She then demands the design from Didinati. Didinati says she's already prepared the design for her, but she has one condition. She wants to move out of the Sun family's house. Desperate for the design, Didinati agrees to talk to her dad but threatens to have her legs broken if she tries to escape. Classic villain. As Didinati leaves, it starts to rain. This triggers a traumatic flashback for Didinati, a blurry and chaotic memory of a car crash involving her parents. She whispers to her parents that she'll be able to avenge them soon. Her resolve is unshakable. Meanwhile, Theneth is with his friends, who are talking about a car race. But Didinati's voice in his head warns him about driving in the rain. This triggers a memory of his own. His grandmother, telling him the exact same thing, her last wish being for him to find a good girl and be safe. Back in the present, his friend jokes that his wife is just a pretty face he keeps at home. Theneth completely loses it and tells him to get lost. Another friend explains that our CEO is fiercely protective of his people, contract or not. So where's he off to? An underground auction. His mission is to buy back his grandmother's story, a pigeon's blood ruby necklace, which is finally up for auction again after many years. When his friends ask him to hang out after, he turns them down flat. I have to go home, he says, calling them single dogs. He is a changed man. Back at the mansion, Didinati is looking at a photo of Theneth and his grandmother. She notices the necklace, and here's the plot twist of the century. She has a flashback of her own mother giving her that exact same necklace for her birthday. Theneth explains that the necklace was sold to a lady whose family later had an accident, and it was lost. It was her family. He then mentions it's at an auction tonight, and Theneth is going to try and buy it back, but might not have enough cash on hand. The wheels in her head start turning. She finds out his 24th birthday is coming up and starts planning to cook for him, asking Theneth for a list of his favorite things. But her internal conflict is back. She feels like this gift is nothing compared to how she's using him. Just then, she gets a call from Njia, a rich collector and one of her patients. He wants to give her a thank you gift and won't take no for an answer. So she goes to his house and he presents her with a box, and inside is the ruby necklace. She's absolutely floored. He explains he bought it for her, knowing it belonged to her mother. And then he mentions that some young brat at the auction kept driving the price up to 300 million. She immediately realizes it must have been Natha. He was trying to buy back his grandmother's necklace, which was also her mother's gift to her, so she goes home and gives it to him, playing it off as a gift from a patient. He is stunned speechless. He knows exactly what it is. The Natha sees this and connects the dots, realizing she went out in the rain just to get this for him. His friend also calls, confirming the buyer was her patient. The Nath puts it all together and comes to one adorable, completely wrong conclusion. She must be in love with him. He thinks she must have been secretly crushing on him this whole time. That Sundasio is officially melting. Meanwhile, the news reports that Didinati tied for first in the design competition with Lemeth, who happens to be Eva's best friend. The trap is being set. Didinati is furious that she only tied for first, because it's not enough to clear her plagiarism scandal. She confronts D-Dynity. She threatens to have D-Dynity married off to the disabled man immediately, and even threatens to destroy her parents' memorial tablets. D-Dynity calms her down, reminding her there's a second round tonight. She lays out a brilliant new plan for an undisputed win. The plan is to film a video at her uncle's jewelry factory, showing the process of making a diamond necklace. Teeny Titi loves the idea. The second she leaves, Dynity calls Lome if the trap is sprung. She tells her to get a sample of the raw diamond Teen and Titi uses, and have it tested immediately. Peter son, my dear uncle, she thinks your end is near. Chills. When she gets home, the Neth awkwardly thanks her for the gift, saying he is surprised she likes him so much. Her internal reaction is priceless. As a return gift, he offers her anything. She asks him to pick her up from the counseling room tomorrow. His internal monologue is peak comedy. He's convinced this pure, simple woman loves him so much vows to destroy anyone who hurts her. He has no idea he's a pawn, but her plan is far more sinister. She needs him to witness her being bullied by the Sun family, so he'll help her finish them off for good. The next day, her professor comes to her with the news. Tina Tite was exposed for stealing Eva's work in the final round of the competition, and her father's company is being investigated for using fake harmful diamonds. The final nail in the coffin, Didayati plays innocent. Right on cue, Tina Tite and her father storm in, screaming that Didayati framed them. Her uncle demands that she go public and confess that she was the one who swapped the design and framed his daughter. The audacity, but Willa finally pushes back, asking why she has to take the blame for her cousin's mistakes. Her uncle goes full villain mode, threatening to have her kidnapped and tortured if she defies him. What a monster. Meanwhile, Scene is waiting downstairs getting worried. He knows something is up and decides to go check on her. Sylvia adds fuel to the fire, suggesting they just hand her over to the rich old man to teach her a lesson. They call her a helpless orphan they can beat, scold, and sell as they please. The absolute cruelty. And just then, Scene appears in the doorway. She can't do anything, he says. But what about me? Cue the hero music. Sylvia, having no clue who he is, continues to mock him as Willis' boy toy. Big mistake. Huge. So Scene just slaps her right across the face. The shock on her face is everything. She screams for her dad to teach him a lesson, but her dad turns on her instead, slapping her and saying she's ruined the family. The girl still doesn't get it, so he finally spills the tea. That's Scene Sheng, CEO of Shengtai Group, the most powerful man in the city. The look of pure terror on Sylvia's face is priceless. While she is processing, Scene is fussing over Willa for not fighting back. Peter asks what their relationship is, and Scene drops the second bomb. I'm her husband. We were married. Then he turns back to Peter. Which hand did your daughter touch her with? I want that hand. He is not playing. Faced with her own dismemberment, Peter begs and offers his own hand instead. A twisted act of fatherly love, I guess. As she watches this brutal punishment unfold, Willa has a chilling thought. If he does this for her, what will he do to her if he finds out she's been using him? Sylvia starts screaming at her for not begging for mercy. But Scene shuts her down again, threatening her dad's other hand if she scares his wife. Peter finally grovels for real, begging Scene to spare his family. Scene just tells them to get lost and immediately orders his men to gather evidence and send him to prison. Then he turns to her, all gentle. You're my person. If anyone bullies you, fight back. And if you can't offend them, then I'll offend them for you. My heart. Back at their own house, the sons are panicking. But Peter is arrogant, thinking Scene won't actually destroy them. Oh, and he casually drops a bombshell. He has a secret that keeps the Gu family in line. He knows they were involved in killing Willa's parents. The plot thickens. Just as he says that, the police arrive to arrest him for criminal activities. So much for Scene keeping his word. However, Assistant Sue reports that Peter will likely be released soon since his company is still stable with other major shareholders. This isn't enough for Willa. She knows she needs to destroy his whole company, but realizes she can't use Scene again without raising suspicion. She needs a new plan. Her target becomes the company's largest investor. And right on cue, Professor he calls, inviting her to a fancy banquet where all the city's elite will be. It's fate. She tells Scene she'll be staying out late, and he immediately gets protective, worried about her being alone. He thinks she's a naive little thing who will fall for any trap. He insists on sending bodyguards, and she agrees, playing the part perfectly. She even promises to send him her live location, saying it makes her feel safe. His ego is soaring. Later, he gets lost in thought about his lonely childhood, and Willa catches him looking sad. This Sunder CEO gets flustered and tells her to stop staring. He then tells Uncle Sheng that the most important thing is that she can't live without him. The delusion is real. He even decides he'll tear up the divorce agreement if she just confesses her love. Oh buddy. The next day, as she leaves, Uncle Sheng fusses over her like a true grandpa. Scene pretends to be annoyed but is totally a marshmallow inside. Then he immediately calls his friends to go for drinks. At the Red Plum Villa, the same place she's going. He's so bad at being subtle. Uncle Sheng totally calls him out on his obvious plan to go check on his wife. But Scene just plays it off like he's going to give her a surprise. At the banquet, Professor He introduces Willa to the Sun Company's biggest investor, just as planned. And it turns out they've met before. The investor asks her about the company's troubles. Playing the innocent niece, she lets it slip that her uncle plans to lie about the radiation jewels to keep investors from pulling out. The seed of doubt is planted. Checkmate. Her professor quickly changes the subject, but the damage is done. Then her slimy ex Brandon shows up, accusing her of framing Sylvia and demanding to know her connection to the designer Eva. And then he has the absolute audacity to offer to take her back. Her response: "You're non-recyclable trash in my eyes, Queen." Professor He steps in to save her, reminding Brandon that it's her husband's party. She tells Willa to go rest. Just then, Scene's friend Mark gets a call from his mom, trying to set him up with a nice girl. He looks over and it's Willa. He absolutely panics. Knowing Scene would literally break his legs, he immediately calls him. And Scene picks up, wondering what's wrong. "Oh, this is gonna be good." Mark tries to play it cool, but Scene is already out of the car and finds Willa in the lounge. He's clearly jealous, pretending he was just there with friends, but admitting he heard she was being set up. She quickly de-escalates, saying her professor just feels sorry for her. After all, who would want a sick girl like her? This flips his protective switch. He tells her the Sheng family has plenty of money to cure her, and orders her to stop putting herself down. He then wraps his coat around her, saying it looks like he'll have to take care of her from now on. The classic Sunday move. Willa wakes up the next morning, in bed with Scene. She is completely flustered, demanding to know what happened. He flips it on her, asking what she did to him. He claims she was cold and begged him to hold her all night. Willa immediately draws the line, reminding him of their contract and promising she'll never develop feelings for him. That hits his ego hard. He snaps that nothing happened and storms off, leaving her totally confused by his mood swing. He's still sulking when Uncle Sheng mentions Willa rushed to work and forgot her coat. Scene complains she's going to get sick again. Next thing you know, he's at her office with the coat. She tries to apologize, and he softens immediately, saying how could he stay mad at his wife. She tells him not to be so good to her, because she's afraid she'll actually fall in love. The confession he wanted, but not quite. Just then, news breaks about an employee suicide at his company. Willa, realizing it's a crisis, rushes home. While Scene handles the fallout, she secretly calls a magazine to leak a huge story. This is our girl taking action. Scene's team quickly finds out the Gu family orchestrated the suicide to frame him. But then they discover something else. A massive scandal about Quentin Gu breaks, completely overshadowing their crisis. And the person who leaked it was Willa. Scene is now deeply suspicious. He orders a new, thorough investigation into her past. His assistant reports back with a bombshell. The Sun family poisoned her, and he suspects she only married Scene to use his power to get revenge and find a cure. Everything clicks into place for him. Her strange marriage proposal suddenly makes a terrible kind of sense. He confronts her, demanding to know her true purpose for marrying him. She thinks the whole game is up. She apologizes for using him. But then comes the twist. He thinks she means using him to find a cure for her poison. His anger melts into concern. He says she should have just told him so he could help her find the best doctors. He's not mad, he's just worried. The misunderstanding is so perfect. He thinks her only motive was survival, which he can accept and even help with. He asks how she knew about Quentin Gu's affair. We see a flashback of her witnessing it while hiding. She tells him she just wanted to buy him more time to handle the crisis. That she wanted to do something for him, so he wouldn't be alone. Uncle Sheng praises her loyalty to Scene later, saying his late grandmother must be watching over him. Scene pretends to be annoyed, but he is clearly pleased. That night, he tells her to sleep in his room. The excuse: his difficult stepmother is coming to visit, and they need to practice being a convincing couple. As she sleeps, he watches over her, thinking no one can hurt his little rabbit except for him. Meanwhile, the Sun family is in ruins. Sylvia has been expelled, and Peter has lost his major investor. He is furious. He regrets not killing her with her parents back then, and decides it's not too late to fix that mistake. Willa gets a warning call from her friend Summer, but it's too late. She's ambushed and kidnapped. The news reaches Scene mid-meeting. He cancels everything and orders a city-wide search. She wakes up in a basement, face to face with her uncle. He accuses her of being ungrateful, but she finally unleashes years of rage, confronting him with the truth. He conspired to murder her parents for their money, and then poisoned her to cover it up. He admits it, saying even with Scene on her side, he'll just kill her now. But Willa has an ace up her sleeve. As Scene races to her location, she reveals her trap. She knew he'd kidnap her and she let it happen. She taunts him, asking what Scene will do when he finds him trying to murder his wife. Checkmate. Peter snaps and lunges at her, but Scene bursts in just in time, taking a heavy blow meant for her. Peter tries to claim Willa is the manipulator, but Scene isn't listening. He orders his men to hand him over to the police, and then he delivers the final blow: acquire the Sun Group. From now on, there will be no Sun family in this city. Later at her office, Brandon confronts her again, blaming her for Sylvia being forced to marry that old man. The delusion is strong with this one. Scene arrives to pick her up, making it clear she doesn't need the Gu family's approval. Willa calls him her husband, and the look on Brandon's face is priceless. She delivers one last burn, telling him she has no interest in recycling trash. Savage. That night, Scene teases her about using him to make her ex jealous. He gets close, threatening something, but then has a violent nightmare. He attacks her in his sleep, choking her and calling out her name before passing out. Uncle Sheng rushes in and explains this is an old problem stemming from his childhood trauma. His abusive father and stepmother left deep psychological scars. Instead of being afraid, Willa is filled with sympathy. She insists on staying by his side to take care of him. The next day, Scene is moping with his friends, asking for advice on behalf of a friend who made a girl angry. They give him the standard rich guy playbook: buy her bags, clothes and jewelry. Just become her personal am. His assistant then calls to say Willa is bringing him lunch. Scene immediately gets jealous that she called his assistant instead of him. Just then, a model named Crystal Koo barges in, calling Willa country bumpkin. She claims to be seen as junior from Yale. When Willa arrives, the staff respectfully lets her pass. Crystal loses it, calling Willa maid and demanding to know why she gets special treatment. Inside, Willa gives Scene the food she made. He scolds her for cooking but happily starts eating. He then notices the marks on her neck from his nightmare. Feeling guilty, he tells her they were going shopping. Total pretty woman moment. He tells the staff to bring everything in her size. Willa comes out looking gorgeous, but who crashes the party? Crystal. She mocks Willa again and demands the dress she's wearing. She pulls the "Do you know who I am" card, and orders the staff to strip the dress off Willa. But just as she lunges, Scene's voice booms. He completely ignores Crystal's whining and walks right up to Willa with a bubble tea he bought for her. The ultimate power move. Crystal keeps digging her own grave, calling Willa maid again. That's when Scene drops the bomb. "That's my wife." The room goes silent. He then orders Crystal's contract terminated and has her blacklisted. And Scene. Turns out, the shopping spree was for the Gu family's anniversary party. Willa's thoughts are clear. It's time to take down Quentin Gu. At the party, Scene introduces her as his wife, stunning everyone. Quentin approaches, putting on a friendly uncle act. Willa's response is ice cold, a veiled warning that she knows he's changed. He then probes about the Sun family's downfall. Scene plays it cool, but Quentin seems to be testing whether Willa knows the truth about her parents' death. Quentin tries to pull Scene away for a private chat, but Scene refuses to leave Willa's side until she gives him the okay. The second he's gone, Brandon tries to approach her, but Scene literally comes right back, saying he couldn't leave her. He then kisses her passionately in front of everyone, marking his territory, and she kisses back. The chemistry is off the charts, but the drama isn't over. A woman later revealed to be Brandon's sister Chloe attacks Willa with a knife. Summer jumps in the way, taking the hit. Scene goes into full rage mode, but Willa calms him down, telling him to focus on getting Summer to the hospital. At the hospital, he's panicking over a tiny scratch on Willa's arm, hilariously harassing the doctor until she has to push him out. Meanwhile, his friend Felix has caught Summer, realizing she was Scene's original blind date, and is connected to Willa. Later, as Scene gently tends to her tiny wound, she asks why he is so good to her. He gets adorably tongue-tied trying to confess his feelings. He finally just goes for a kiss, telling her she can push him away. She doesn't, but of course Felix calls and ruins the moment. Felix warns him that Willa is using him, but Scene, now fully in love, says he trusts her and has his own plan. After getting a warning from Summer, Willa decides to confess everything to Scene after she deals with the Gu family, but it might be too late. Scene comes home and asks if she has anything to tell him, making it clear he knows she's been hiding something. She leaves for her graduation photo shoot, promising herself she'll tell him everything soon. At the shoot, Chloe Gu tries to bully her, but Willa is done being a pushover and shoves her aside. Chloe's uncle, a dean at the university, threatens to revoke Willa's degree. But then, a familiar voice asks who dares to scare his wife. It's Scene. He calmly informs the shocked dean that the student he's threatening is his wife, Mrs. Sheng. Back at the office, Scene tells assistant Asu to make sure the bullies understand the consequences of messing with Mrs. Sheng. Later, he gently scolds Willa for not calling him for help, but she's completely overwhelmed by his kindness. She begs him not to be so good to her, afraid she'll never be able to leave him. He just smiles and says, "You're the one who started this," and this is a huge turning point. Willa calls Summer and tells her she wants to find the cure for the poison in her body. She's no longer just living for revenge, she wants to live for Scene. Meanwhile, Felix is still trying to warn Scene, telling him he has discovered a link between Willa and the mysterious designer Eva, but Scene is completely unwavering. He tells his friend that he trusts Willa and doesn't need anyone investigating her. He has chosen his side. With her love life secured, Willa pivots back to her revenge plot. She and Summer stage a scene at a mall for Chloe to overhear. They loudly discuss Scene's upcoming bid for a gold mine, dropping a fake number of 550 million, and Chloe takes the bait hook, line, and sinker. After Felix storms in with the leaked info, Assistant Sue reveals the truth. Scene now knows Willa's entire tragic backstory and why she is seeking revenge. Armed with this knowledge, he's no longer just her shield, he becomes her partner. He tells his assistant to prepare 700 million for the bid. At the auction, Quentin falls right into their trap, smugly bidding 600 million. He even taunts Scene for his wife's loose lips. That's when Scene drops the hammer, bidding 700 million and revealing their real budget was $1 billion. Thanking Quentin for saving them 300 million. The shock is too much and Quentin collapses. Later, having lost everything, he blames Chloe and orders his men to sell her to loan sharks. As Scene and Willa celebrate their victory, disaster strikes. A car intentionally plows into Scene as he's getting cake for her. Willa rushes him to the hospital, absolutely hysterical. She instantly knows Quentin is behind it. In her grief, she becomes ice cold, ordering the hitman dealt with. Assistant Sue reveals Scene's final order was to let her handle everything if he was hurt, proving his absolute trust in her. At his bedside, she finally breaks, confessing her love, and saying she wants to be with him forever. It's the first time her mask of revenge completely shatters. After a successful surgery, he finally wakes up. Willa doesn't waste a second and confesses everything, from the faked blind date to being Eva. She tells him her feelings are real, but she'll accept a divorce. But Scene's response is everything. He says he willingly let her use him. Now united, they become a true power couple. They bait Quentin by sending him a video of a hitman confessing, pushing him to try and silence the man. The plan is to get him arrested for attempted murder at his own company's anniversary gala. A truly epic takedown. At the party, they exchange veiled threats with Quentin. Then, right in the middle of his speech, the police arrive. They arrest him for attempted murder, and he is escorted out in front of everyone. The perfect public downfall. Afterwards, Scene asks if she's satisfied. She says it went even smoother than she imagined, like fate itself was helping her. Scene just smiles and says, "Maybe someone really is helping you." Little does she know, he's been pulling strings in the background the whole time. She asks if he's investigating Quentin's company for her sake. He plays it cool, claiming he's just a good citizen who can stand Quentin's fake persona. He then starts teasing her, trying to get her to admit her feelings. He lists all the things he's done for her, but claims each was for his own benefit. Finally, he just asks, "Admit it, have you fallen in love with me?" And she does. She confesses she loves him, but her illness is always on her mind. She promises to love him completely as long as he's faithful while she's alive. This breaks his heart. He forbids her from ever saying she wants to live long again. She sweetly agrees, because she loves him. But the moment is cut short when Assistant Sue reports Quentin has been bailed out. Scene calmly hands Willa the evidence file on Quentin's company. He tells her to go finish her fight and that he's got her back, ordering his men to protect her at all costs. This leads to the final checkmate. Willa confronts Quentin with proof of his crimes. He completely breaks down, blaming Peter's son and offering to make an antidote for her poison. But Willa is merciless. She gives him an ultimatum. If he wants to protect his son Brandon, he knows what he needs to do. Defeated, Quentin takes his own life, but not before telling Brandon to avenge him and send Willa to hell. But things get even more complicated. Thugs attack Willa in the parking garage, and in a shocking twist, Brandon takes a blow for her. Scene arrives and explains the whole ugly truth to a shattered Brandon, that his own father was a murderer who poisoned Willa. He spares Brandon out of gratitude, and just when we think it's over, a new villain enters the chat. The garage attack was ordered by Scene's evil stepmother, Miranda, who's back in town with his estranged father. Willa comes home to find Miranda waiting. They exchange passive-aggressive barbs until Scene comes in, and literally just tells her to get out. He then calls Miranda and delivers a chilling threat. If she ever dares to harm Willa again, he will make her pay with her life. But Miranda isn't done. She teams up with the delusional Crystal Koo, who wants to replace Willa as Scene's wife. At the company party, Miranda drugs Scene's drink. Crystal then leads him away to a hotel room, but Willa walks in just in time. The next day, Scene is annoyed because Willa isn't showing any signs of jealousy. She's just calmly taking care of him. So he decides to let the online rumors about him and Crystal fester, hoping to finally get a reaction out of her. But his petty plan backfires spectacularly when one of Crystal's obsessed fans attacks Willa, causing her to collapse from the stress. The doctor says the poison has severely weakened her immune system, and suggests they find a medical genius named To Warren Wen. Furious and filled with regret, Scene confronts Crystal. He coldly tells her he only let the rumors spread to make Willa jealous, and if he knew this would happen, he would have killed her. They find To Wen, who says he can create an antidote, but there's a catch. Willa's poison is so rare that he wants to study her, essentially asking her to be his test subject. Back at the hospital, Willa finally wakes up, and Scene is just pure relief. She asks for osmanthus cake, and of course, our man already has it prepared for her. He then gently brings up De Win's offer, suggesting she could recover faster by going to his lab, but she refuses. She knows her poison is incurable and does want to be a guinea pig. She just wants to spend whatever time she has left with him. Scene respects her wishes without a second thought and calls the doctor to decline. They get discharged just in time to celebrate the Kixie festival. At home, he gives her the ultimate gift, his grandmother's ruby necklace, meant only for his future wife. Then she hits him with a reverse Uno card, putting a wedding ring on his finger, and asking to get married for real. Scene is over the moon, immediately planning the grandest wedding ever. He tells her she's going to be the most beautiful bride. He makes her promise to stay healthy and live to be 100 with him. This is where the emotional damage begins, because the moment he leaves, she breaks down, knowing she can't keep that promise. Her doctor confirms the worst. The poison is spreading, and she has a month to live at most. So she starts writing birthday letters for him, all the way to his 100th birthday, so she can keep her promise in spirit. Meanwhile, Scene's dad and stepmom show up, forbidding the wedding. But Scene literally cannot care less, saying he's willing to be used by Willa. On her birthday, their celebration is bittersweet. He wishes for them to grow old together, while she wishes they can be together in the next life, and then she collapses. The doctor says there's nothing more he can do. He reveals she knew she was dying and asked him to keep it a secret. As he's mourning, a miracle happens. She wakes up. It's a fake out. Turns out, this was all part of a plan for her to get treatment in secret. They finally have their wedding, a beautiful ceremony. But just as they say their vows, she collapses at the altar for real this time, and then vanishes. Flash forward 3 years. Scene is a grieving widower, refusing to move on, much to his family's annoyance. But then, the biggest plot twist, he finds her. Willa is alive, but she has amnesia and the mind of a child, only recognizing him as the man in the photo she carries. In her childlike state, she tells him she was held captive by Jetta, Wen and Brandon, who used her as a human guinea pig. Brandon shows up, claiming he was only trying to help Willa get the antidote. But he drops a bombshell, revealing Scene's own father helped him kidnap Willa on her wedding day. Forced to trust Brandon for the antidote, Scene focuses on helping Willa recover. After a nightmare, her memory briefly returns. He takes her to familiar places, and while at her old home, a recording of their wedding vows causes her to collapse. When she wakes up, her memory is fully restored. She apologizes for making him wait, but he says the most romantic line ever. "As long as it's you, I'll wait forever." Now united, they decide to attend his father and stepmother's anniversary party. It's payback time. At the party, Miranda greets them with snide remarks about Willa's time as a test subject. The audacity is off the charts, but our power couple is ready for a showdown. Willa, sticking to her amnesiac child persona, recoils at Miranda's touch. And then boom, she slaps Miranda across the face. She drops the act for 2 seconds to tell her that her voice makes her sick, then immediately snaps back into character, complaining to Scene. In the restroom, Miranda confronts her, but Willa just owns it. She faked it because she finds Miranda unbearable. Then we learn the real revenge plot. Willa somehow poisoned Miranda, who now has the same organ failure, and only a year or 2 left to live. The ultimate irony. Jutta Wen tells her the only thing that can complete the antidote is Willa's blood. In another twist, Willa recognizes a photo of Scene's mother, Luna, who was supposed to be dead. Turns out, she met her at the party and, sensing she was in danger, had her friend quietly send her to Milan for safety. Just as they figure this out, Miranda learns that Scene has already flown to Milan and rescued his mother. She confronts Dean, realizing he's been lying for decades, having hidden Luna away instead of letting her die in childbirth. With Gia-Win dead and her own life ticking away, Miranda snaps. She vows that if she's going down, Luna's coming with her. She sends men to kidnap Luna, but Willa thinks fast. She creates a diversion, telling Luna to run for help while she offers herself up as Scene's wife. Miranda calls Scene with an ultimatum, his mother for his wife. But Luna devises a counter plan, knowing Dean will show up to protect her. During the exchange, Willa bluffs, telling Miranda their marriage is fake and Scene wants to trade for her. The trade happens, but just as planned, Dean arrives. It all comes out. He was blackmailed into marrying Miranda and hid Luna to protect her. Completely defeated, Miranda lunges at Luna with a knife, but Dean takes the fatal blow, dying to protect the woman he was obsessed with. Later, it's revealed Dean had secretly transferred all his assets and connections to Scene, all to make him strong enough to protect his mother. With everything settled, Luna decides to travel. She visits Dean's grave one last time to declare their toxic history officially over. After she leaves, Scene shows incredible empathy, saying he doesn't blame his mom, but just feels sorry for the 20 years she lost. And just when you think the drama's over, Willa drops the final bomb. She is pregnant. Scene is ecstatic. After all the chaos, they were finally getting their happy ending and starting a family.